Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Podcast end of season extravaganza bonanza thingy.
Woo.
Your old friends Jonathan, Neil and Bertbot joining you for the summary of the 2016-17 season, both Premier League and elsewhere. How was the season for you guys?
It was something that happened.
You can tell these
It was excruciatingly average.
Are you saying that because of Arsenal's final position or because
Yes.
Chelsea won?
Yes.
Both. But yes to both. Okay.
Well, we kind of knew Chelsea were going to win it. Like by Christmas. At Christmas.
Even though we were top of the table. We were like, no,
Yeah,
Chelsea have this. They have it in the bag.
Even at any point you were top of the table, it's like, yeah, we see that. You see, there's a reason why we're top of the league. Chelsea's reasons are much better.
Yeah.
In fairness, the alternative wasn't that great for runners up anyway, so you were kind of stuck between the two.
Yeah, no, we got spared an awful lot of abuse this season.
Yeah.
Because had Spurs won it, we wouldn't have it would have not stopped ever. Mm-hmm. And had they done the double, it would have the earth would have imploded.
Yeah, they would have stopped.
I
it.
think it's scientifically impossible for that to happen, though.
I think Nostradamus predicted in the book.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so because they got close.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Trump, we've got Brexit. You'd have Spurs. No one could handle
that's
that.
a trifecta.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The
trifecta of human despair.
The whole planet would just collapse in on itself like a neutron star.
Yeah. You're still holding out for that, really, aren't you?
I really am, yeah. The thing is that the noise of the planet collapsing in on itself would be drowned out by the collective sigh of relief.
So with that glowing endorsement of the football season, let's begin by talking about the champions, of course. Chelsea. They finish up then with 93 points in total, winning 30 of their 38 games. Costa were their top goal scorer. There's a lot of comfortable wins in it. A lot of 2-0s and 3-0s. The biggest one for them was the 5-0 smashing against Everton. And funny enough, their biggest loss of the season was against you guys, the 3-0. Which was the first game that they played their new 3 at the back system. And as we've seen, the 3 at the back system won them the league, more or less.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable to say.
It was definitely kind of a thing that you saw 3 lining up at the back, you're like, oh, Arsenal are going to walk all over it. And then you're like, oh wait, no, it's Arsenal, they might not actually do it. But they did.
Yes.
So in summary, yeah.
Yeah, it was that. Well, that's what it was. It was the first game they actually tried out the new style. And obviously Arsenal taught them some serious lessons, but they hadn't really lost until then for nearly 20 games. And then I think it was a loss against Palace.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 or 5 months later. It was an extraordinary run. And there's no secret to it. The back three system first off allowed the midfield to be completely different to what it was. Because even at the start of the season, the first few games, they were obviously an improvement from last season. Because last season was a fucking disaster for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't exactly set the highest bar.
No,
what
God,
was it,
no.
10th or something like that.
Yeah, it was about that. Yeah, because I think they were in the bottom half of the table until Hiddink came in, and they didn't really improve that much because they're still fielding old fogies like Ivanovic and Terry in the first team.
Well, it's a little difficult. I mean, I'll give Hiddink a lot of credit. I mean, basically he was attempting to run a team that had mutinied on their last manager.
Exactly.
Who was their saviour beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was very clear.
Can I just say as well, the David Luiz sideshow Bob was unbelievable this season.
He was amazing. And I think, like I said, it's not a surprise. I think he really played the best when he was in that back three because I think he was more contained. He had more of a better role in it. He wasn't the last line of defence. He has
kind of shown us all that he's shown us all the great defender that we all kind of knew he was.
Like when he was tempered, you could tell that's the player he can be.
Funnily enough, as well, in that biggest loss, the 3-0 loss to us, that was his worst game as well. Because I think it was him who lost possession when he had Sanchez up his anus.
Yeah.
And then Sanchez just ran the ball into the goal. And you're like, okay, you see the way that guy's called Alexis Sanchez? If he's coming towards you, pass the ball. Right? Don't just stand there and lose it.
Generally speaking, it's best not to do that.
Yes.
But like I said, I think the things about Chelsea, obviously the positives would be Kante in the midfield completely owning everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, we kind of made the joke when Leicester won the league for and it's about Kante, because the midfield was seemed to be just so tight, because Kante was technically two people really, just running around and like breaking up play and starting attacks.
Yeah, I think that was we said that before. That was Ranieri's. Ranieri said that during the press conference. He's
Yeah.
like, do you ever wonder? It's like he always has 3 people in midfield. No matter how many people he plays there, he's got. I think it was a
Drinkwater and Kante on the two sides of him.
yeah, Drinkwater and Kante on both sides.
Yeah.
You're like, he's always got 3 people.
Kante is like the most Patrick Vieira-esque player I've seen
I'd say
since Patrick Vieira.
I'd say he's like a step up from Makelele, I think. Like if even in Chelsea terms, Makelele was that kind of player.
Makelele, you just crunching tackle, break someone up, whereas Kante actually has good timing that he can take the ball off someone and then get back up and do a great pass. But yeah, no, he's been unreal.
Yeah, he has been. I think like a lot of people have been calling the signing of the season. I think that's a reasonable assertion to make because, like I said, just the difference he's made to that Chelsea team, just having that in the midfield. Because let's face it, I know Matic is technically their midfield destroyer, but they don't have that real work rate in the midfield. A lot of their work rate is further up the field in like Hazard and Pedro and the like. So. And that's another thing about the system, the 3-4-3. It's given players like Moses and Pedro such a lease of life in Chelsea.
And Willian as well.
And well, even that, Willian doesn't even get in the team that much because of the system. That's how good everything is gelled together.
When you have the likes of Willian and Cesc Fabregas on the bench,
your bench, yeah,
like it just kind of shows you that's a good side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great. And another thing about it is obviously Conte himself. He naturally. We kind of spoke that he does play a back three typically when he was at Juventus and at Italy, and it took him a while to introduce at Chelsea. But since then, it's just been a masterstroke, really.
Yeah, it took a while to click, but when it did, fucking hell, like
yeah,
you know,
it's been the best. And obviously, they made it to the FA Cup final, which ultimately they lost to you guys, which we will get to when we talk about Arsenal, because by God, you guys need positives. But. But reasonable to say, like, well-worthy champions. I think it's a fair assumption.
Definitely more deserving of it than Spurs.
Yeah.
Oh, you just had to get
for no other reason.
You had to get your jabs in. Yeah, you had to get your jabs in.
So Chelsea, the positives, they're not Spurs.
So a lot of people have been then kind of wondering how far more this team can go, because obviously we've had second season syndrome before, actually with our last 2 champions, with Chelsea beforehand and Leicester, and they've struggled again since. Like a really poor pre-season, very leggy, very worn out. You know, can they do it again next season?
There's no big World Cup, there's no Euros. I'd say they can.
We'll have to see how European football really kicks.
And I don't really see their team being like, you know, reaped by anybody else. I don't see like Real Madrid coming in to bid for Hazard or anything.
Well, not really, because they're backed by like, you know, the Abramovich billions. Just like, oh, here, like somebody will come in and go, here, we'll give Kante 300 grand a week. So can Chelsea. Chelsea will turn around, we'll give them 310. Fuck it, they don't give a shit.
Like the only person I can actually see really going is Costa, and I think that's just he'll just get offered like a whole province in China to sign. And he'll take it, because I think he's quite a mercenary person,
including the ownership rights to all the people in said province.
Oh, of course, yeah, I meant that. Of course,
yeah. I'd say like the numbers being bandied around about, like I think something like 620 grand a week.
It's ridiculous money. It's genuinely nonsense.
Like he's basically being offered 3 times his wages, and he's on stupid money now anyway.
Yeah.
The thing as well, like, see, Costa's very good, but he's a symptom of the new system. He gets so much more service from the wide players, and he is that kind of player. He'll get benefit from that. But at the same token, if you give Batshuayi a pre-season, Batshuayi was the guy ultimately who won the league for Chelsea. He scored the winning goal. And if you get a player, let's say you get a player like Costa, like a Morata, or you get someone like that, or even Lukaku if he comes back. Don't think he will. But even then Costa is quite redundant as a player. Although then again, this has been Costa's best season for Chelsea. He's very tempered. He didn't play act as much. Very kind of like disciplined. And that
I think
you have
that's more to do with Conte as well. I think Conte is such a no bullshit coach that if any of them tried that, well, look at Moses in the FA Cup final. But in general, there wasn't so much of that diving shite going on.
It was, like I said, it was the most disciplined Chelsea I've seen in years.
I would have loved to have seen him try to iron all that shit out of Oscar if they still had him. I think that's probably one of the main reasons why he went.
That, and they were offered like 60 million.
Yeah.
it's a big fee, like, for someone who's very redundant.
He's crap as well.
Yeah. But like I said, and that's the one thing about Conte. For some reason, and like I said, we're speaking as, like, you know, rivals to his team. He somehow made Chelsea a likeable team.
Yeah.
Somewhat likeable. Yeah. Like you look at him and you
less
see him play. Yeah.
It's like Mourinho was such an antichrist.
Yeah. No,
And
he is the devil. He's not Antichrist. He's the devil.
And then Conte is just like a cool guy. Like he's probably like, I don't know.
It's like a Klopp. It's like a Klopp effect. Yeah.
Well, he's hyper passionate. I remember saying that. I think we did a podcast when he first went to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I said one of my favourite bits about Conte was during the Euros or something. Him screaming at his defence. I think. Yeah, it was the Italy-Belgium match, and Lukaku got through on goal. Now, he didn't score, but he just got through the defence.
Yeah.
There was a great through ball weighted in and whatever. He got through, blasted it wide. And Conte was on and there's a video clip of him screaming, I will kill you, at his own defenders. I was like, okay, then when Chelsea signed him, I was like, that bunch of fucking prima donnas against a man who was screaming, I will kill you to his defenders. I was like,
and
I thought that was
that passion has trickled down to the side.
Yeah,
like you see players that are hungry to get in that side, like Pedro, like Moses, because fuck, this is my only chance to succeed at Chelsea. I'm a wide player. This team generally doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I think Conte has a lot to do with Chelsea's success. It goes without saying.
It's almost everything to do with it.
Almost, yeah. But obviously, at this time, before we wrap up with Chelsea, I think it's fair that we have to pay tribute to one of the greatest servants in the world of racism. In John Terry. So, I mean, how do you...
waited 26 minutes into the podcast.
Yeah, you have to wait 26 minutes in, yes.
I'm sorry about that. We're 11 minutes in, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. But unfortunately...
just sub himself in.
Yeah, but what we're talking about John Terry... he just suddenly interrupts us when we're talking about fucking City or something. But
what we're... black pricks.
What? I didn't say that.
John, get out. The fuck? How did you even get here? Anyway, but how do you think the world of bigotry is going to last without John Terry?
Oh, it's good. It's got the Italian leagues to make up for that.
Oh, that's good. And what about the adultery? Italian leagues again?
Well, Giggs is apparently coming back. So
that's
it, Lock up your wives.
Hide your wives. Hide your kids.
Hide your wives.
Assuming Giggs hasn't locked them up first.
That is complete slander. If anyone of the Super Injunction team is listening, we have no reports about that. But yes, that's Chelsea, Premier League champions. How do we actually think Chelsea are going to do in the Champions League, considering they're ultimately the best team England would have?
Well, no, not very well.
Really?
Alright, I'm going to go out on a limb. Predictions, I'll say they'll crash out at quarters.
Quarters is actually quite standard for English teams now. They kind of get that far and that's it.
Pretty much, yeah. Quarters. I guarantee they won't get past quarters.
Okay.
In fact, if they get past the round of 16, I'll actually be quite surprised.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really going to help them is their higher seeding as league champions.
They will be pot one, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be pot one. But that's it.
But that being said, though, the pots are going to be really weird this season because big teams like PSG will be pot 2 and Dortmund will be pot 3, I think.
Yeah.
So, like you said there, well, it depends on what happens with Leipzig. But, you could hypothetically get a group that's Chelsea, PSG, Dortmund, and then one of the, champions from
Benfica.
Yeah, something like that. I think Portugal's, one of the top 8 leagues, so Benfica will be pot 1 anyway.
Oh, nice.
But let's say, could be the Turkish team champions or Russian champions. Yeah. They would be in pot 4.
Actually, did you see one of the newest qualifiers from the Russian league is over the China side of Russia, so it's a ridiculous travel.
Oh yeah, it's it's not Rostov, it's one of the other ones, isn't it? They're on the where Sochi is almost. Yeah. That's a fun plane ride.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, come on now, in all fairness, it's a long trip, but they're football players. It's a chartered jet and it's first class the whole way.
Yeah.
If they were doing it Ryanair, I might feel some kind of fucking
United Airlines.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just Conte gets dragged down by his fucking collar.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh dear.
After Moses dives off the plane. Oh, look what they did. We're nowhere near him. In all fairness, we're going to drag him out anyway. He's black.
And then John Terry's in the background going, "Go on, stick him! Go on, stick him! Out there, look." Okay, let's move on then from Chelsea to your favourite team and not mine, Spurs. You are booing at a picture of Spurs, okay? Yeah. Just remember that.
In all fairness, it is a picture of a cock on a ball.
And moving on.
And scene. So they finished second, runners up. A slight improvement from last year when they lost a 2-horse race. So
still one of my highlights of my life.
Came third in a 2-horse race. Well done.
But it is the end of St. Tottenham's Day, though. That's something, isn't it? I mean, you guys were getting sick of it, really, weren't you? Let's be honest.
Well, if you do something year in, year out for 20 years,
like qualifying for Champions League.
You're gonna get fed up with it.
Yeah. Get knocked out by Bayern Munich every year. We want some variety now, you know. So they end up anyway 26 wins out of 38, which isn't too bad. Really good goal difference, like the best defense in the league. They actually end up having the best defense and offense.
The majority of that goal difference came in the last couple of games,
yes,
when they were up against teams who were playing in flip-flops.
And they're also, I believe, the best home team in the league this season as well. And yet they still, with all those like statistical accolades, still second. So that's
because they're Tottenham. Like, you still can't get rid of that stigma of being shit.
Yeah, it's hard to get that off. You know, I'm a Liverpool fan. I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's a
we had a chance and our own fucking captain slipped up, literally. You know, it happens, you know.
It's a stain that doesn't wash out.
No.
In all fairness, funnily enough, actually, a Spurs sporting friend of mine did ask me, he's like, oh yeah, we got the... I don't really think the team have that kind of a winning mentality. Or what do you think about our winning mentality kind of nowadays? So it's like, you don't have a winning mentality. You're celebrating winning nothing. You've won nothing. What have you won? You finished ahead of us. What, is there a trophy for that?
No, like, yeah, it's like a little one-upsmanship.
That's the thing. Like, you have to stop celebrating winning nothing.
Yeah.
You know, even we don't do that.
We made that point actually in a previous podcast that the one thing that even Pochettino needs himself to prove how good he is as a coach is to win something.
To win,
you know, the FA Cup was the best chance, and obviously they went up against Chelsea, an equally strong side as they are, and it was a very good game. It could have gone either way.
It was actually a very entertaining game.
And it's like I said, if it could have got a better tie, it could have got yourselves, it could have got Man City, they could have won it, and in the final, it could have happened differently. But like I said, they do need to win something. I feel like they should have. I can understand they kind of like ditched the Europa League to try and focus on getting higher up the league. I can understand
that's another thing into their fucking non-winning mentality. You know, why ditch Europe? You know, I mean, like, to be honest with you,
Europa League is definitely something that's winnable.
Yeah. Especially when
I say that.
I look forward to next season's end of season podcast.
This is all on record, you know that.
With their squad, in fairness to them, they had a chance of doing something in Europe, and they didn't bother their fucking arses.
No, they didn't. They gave up on it, and the main reason was they wanted to secure Champions League football.
They crashed out of both European tournaments.
Yeah, they did. And like I said, the funny thing is, like, kind of the ironic thing is that these guys finished this season as the best home team, which is kind of ironic considering they'll be playing all of their games away next season. Yeah. Because obviously White Hart Lane is gone. They're playing at Wembley next season.
They had a couple of games at Wembley and there's like, biggest home attendance in the league. Yeah. I was like, it's not your fucking home ground, you fucking turds.
Exactly. It's like one of the League of Ireland sides going to the Viva going, oh wow, look at all the people that are here to see us.
Biggest home record ever.
Empty. Oh yeah.
That's at the point where they put holograms in to make to give the players some motivation.
Cardboard cutout.
Exactly.
But that was it. I mean, they sacrificed everything for great league position and wound up one place higher than what they did last season, crashing out of both European tournaments. How far did they get in the League Cup?
I believe not too far actually.
They didn't get too. So they threw away the League Cup. All right, then they gave the FA Cup a bit of a decent.
They did have a good. They had a decent like draws as well.
But that's the thing. When you put all your eggs into one basket, it crashed. To be honest, they busted it. In all fairness.
In fairness,
I understand how this may come from an Arsenal fan. But
that's what I'm saying. I think there's a little bit of bias thrown through because, like I said, there was such a gap between them and Chelsea anyway. And remember, we were saying earlier in the season that they were drawing a lot of games. Now they've only ended up drawing 8, but it was like a sequence where they were drawing a lot, particularly in the early season when Kane was injured. I think at that point, then Chelsea hit the afterburners and Spurs just couldn't catch up. You know, at least in my view, there was that. They were never going to lose out of the top 4. So at that point, they should have just went, let's put a bit more emphasis on Europe. Yeah. And get a trophy. Well, you could argue their biggest game of the season was the FA Cup semi-final. You know, because at least at that stage, their fate has been sealed.
Yeah, but when you come down to like just one match, that's the point. Like all eggs in one basket. You telling me I was like, oh yeah, we crashed out about European tournaments, let's give this FA Cup a run. And yet to be the first person to turn around to an Arsenal fan and go, yeah, so what, 3 FA Cups in 4 years, big deal. We still got nowhere.
And they'd celebrate their one FA Cup. Yeah,
exactly. Hang on, what the fuck? If you'd have won the FA Cup, you'd have been fucking going ballistic. So fuck off. Like,
they're deluded cunts.
Yes. Deluded cunts.
Spoken like a true gooner. But
in fairness, I watched probably 3 Tottenham matches.
That's a lot for you,
Yeah, and through the bile and like tears of anger.
Red mist.
They played decent football.
I think they were the best footballing side this season. Oh, like at least towards the tail end of the season.
They have one of the best starting 11s.
Yeah, definitely. And their bench is better.
Sissoko.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it's a bit better than last season.
Can they be demoted a place just for spending that ridiculous amount?
I think we can inflict a fine on them.
Not really. I mean, because coming into this season, the next season now, they're going to have the Geordies. The Newcastle are into the Premier League. They're going to be going 30 million. We pulled your pants down. Whatever kind of fucking song.
Trademark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Seriously, again on record. Pay us royalties. Thank you.
It's going to be like, you know.
Yeah.
Like there was no Newcastle fan I knew that didn't start laughing. It was like, we got rid of that sack of crap for 30. They paid 30 million.
Yeah.
Not did Levy just miss out on the decimal point and then went, yeah, whatever the fuck.
He's real kind of Wolf of Wall Street kind of malarkey. He's just like,
absolutely.
I have money. So throw everything at me.
Yeah, it's Daniel. This is 30. Yeah, whatever. Now when the dwarf hits the target, he's not gonna get hurt, is he? Because if he gets hurt, I'm worried about the league. Yeah, whatever, fuck off. Yeah, 30 million. Yeah, whatever. So
Danny, he's one of our players. That's Danny Rose. Yeah, whatever. 30 million. Yeah, what? You saying something? So, but like I said, yeah, it's fair to say. I think and another thing about the Spurs team, they've actually transitioned to the back three system a lot better than I thought it would. I'm not a strong proponent for this whole, like, oh, this team is doing good with this system, let's all copy them system.
Yeah.
But at least Spurs have actually done okay.
Well, it's a system that lends itself to high energy,
high pressing. Yeah.
High pressing, and that's something that they did very well, even when they had a flat back four. So they were always a high pressing team. It's just, you know. I
think the other good thing about Spurs is that none of their players seem really, like, you know, have their heads turned by anything else.
You know, is it? What time are we at? What time are we at?
Yeah.
On how long on the podcast?
22.
Ooh, 4 minutes.
Sorry, we're still checking for John Terry.
Yeah,
we've locked the gates just to be sure.
Absolutely, yeah. We've locked the gates and hidden all the black people. They won't be getting on any trains anytime soon.
Wow, blast from the past. That was like so last season. Dude.
Oh my god.
But yes, like I said, I think, as you said, the system does suit like their style of play anyway. I suppose, and like I said, none of their players seem to have had their head turned or anything like that. Like the likes of Kane or Ali is not being like courted.
I don't know.
They're their fullbacks, really.
Yeah,
you know,
one of their fullbacks.
Nobody cares about Kyle Walker, really.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like most of the times that I've watched a Spurs match with my Spurs supporting friends, anytime they've seen Walker on the team sheet, they've just literally vomited boil.
They seem
they
to
all prefer Trippier anyway.
Yeah, and so I think Trippier actually is able to cross a ball in as well. Yeah, that's a major difference.
They're like, oh yeah, if all of what Walker brings that Trippier doesn't have, they don't want.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're happy to get rid of him.
So ultimately then, how do we think Spurs will do next season, having all their games away?
I'd say just another top four again. They'll crash out of Europe again. That's why I was saying there's no point in worrying about them being in the Champions League and us being in the Europa League. They'll be right alongside us come Christmas. Yeah. They're gonna crash out of the fucking Champions League.
Like I said, this Spurs team seemed to have had the same thing happen 2 years in a row, and their early season form is not great. It's fine, but they draw games instead of winning, and then when it comes to like European games, they're just atrocious. Yeah. I don't know if that's to do with playing at Wembley. But they're going to have to get fucking used to playing at Wembley because all their home games are, you know, there next season. So they have to sort it out. But
so my prediction is again another season of nothing for them.
I just love how we won another FA Cup at Wembley at Spurs home ground.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's we're winning more at their home grounds than they are.
Have they even won a game at Wembley? I think they may have won one in the. It may have been like Moscow in the Champions League. That was like their one game out of like maybe 5 or 6.
I'd have to look into that, and quite frankly, I've got far better things to be doing, like playing with my balls.
Spoken like a man. So
then look up the Spurs' new home win record.
Well, we say Spurs' new home. The season after, it's going to be Chelsea's home. All the stadiums are getting renovated. Apparently, it's a new thing nowadays.
Also, like fucking Wembley's like this gigantic Premier League halfway house.
Yeah, essentially, it's a Premier Inn. It's a Premier League inn.
All these transient fucking teams come in, shuffle in, go through their DTs, fuck up their season, and then piss off back to their renovated home ground.
Exactly. Like just Lenny Henry is there in the fore, just going, I fucking hate these people. I just want to do an ad. I don't want fucking footballers running around the place.
Go for it.
Right. Before John Terry does come in and accost us, let's talk about Manchester City. A failed experiment or just a start? What do you guys think? 3rd place, 78 points. A lot more losses than I thought they'd have. But how did Guardiola's first season go? Bad.
He was always going to be under severe scrutiny because he's Guardiola and because he's been at great clubs. And he's coming into a new great club.
Yeah.
You know, the other clubs he's been with have a history of winning things. Manchester City have a new history of winning things.
Yeah.
Which we will call it Chelsea history.
Yeah.
But yeah, he made some weird choices. And they were either going to make him a genius or they were going to crash. And they crashed.
I think it's fair to say this is the right time then to mention Claudio Bravo. Now,
Neil, I was about to say,
goalkeeper by trade. Break down Claudio Bravo. This is the. I'm sorry. I said by trade, not by necessity.
I would very much like to break him down, preferably with a bat.
How bad is he, generally speaking? Because he's like the former Barcelona number 1. What makes him so bad?
He can't stop a shot. He can't save a shot. His positioning's garbage. He's not even that good with the ball. The thing is, most of Manchester City is now a failed experiment. And even in all fairness to him, even Guardiola said it himself that where he's still at Barcelona or Bayern Munich and had this type of a season, he'd have been sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got rid of Joe Hart. Now, I was never on ever. And
I think he's kind of going through his like Rob Green moment. He's declining, you see, but he's still a solid keeper for a Premier League.
He's a solid shot stopper. He always has been. He always was. He was never the fucking mercurial talent that the City fuckers tried to make him out to be.
I don't even know if it was City. I think it was the English press in general were kind of lording him as the next best Jesus.
I think we call we'll nickname that Shearer syndrome. You know, where like because he's in the England team, they get away with goddamn more.
He's literally head and shoulders above the rest. Wait, no,
please give us free stuff.
Product placement. What more do you want?
But I was never on the Hart bandwagon, and because I could recognise he had a lot of faults and flaws, and they were never really going to be. I think we're okay.
He's gone. He's come and gone. We're good. We're clear. Right. Sorry. I think the dog's got him there. Sorry, it's good.
And so it's just he got rid of a keeper who's kind of good with his hand, bad with his feet for the keeper that he thought was good with his hands and good with his feet, but turns out to be good with neither.
It was atrocious. I think his worst game was the one against Everton. It was when they lost 4-0.
It was so bad. Like, you know, almost every single one of those goals could be attributed to him.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no. Like, granted, now I will happily concede that he didn't exactly have the best defense in front of him.
John Stones,
50
million man.
Oh my god,
horrendously overpriced. It would have been cheaper, better, far more effective to build a new human out of actual money. Otamendi,
or out of stones, as the case may be.
You know, Otamendi, just what? Mangala, 30 million for what?
Yeah.
What? Just you looked at that back line.
It was that back line even more so than Bravo that cost City all the matches that they lost.
Yeah.
Like their midfield, you've got really, really, really declining Yaya Toure,
who's signed a 1-year deal.
He signed a 1-year extension.
He could still turn it up. He could still do a magical flick or a magical run. Well,
or he's still actually quite good in the dead ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you had like a decent midfield there. Like Jesus did really well.
Jesus is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to next season.
I was to say, like, my fantasy football team, he's going straight in.
First man on the pitch.
He's going straight in. He is going to burn this league up like a motherfucker.
Look, see, this is the thing about Manchester City. Like, my kind of view on it is that I think people are being a tiny bit naive, or at least being a bit too excited to think that Guardiola's going to hit the ground running straight away. The squad, I don't think, is as good as people thought initially, especially with signings like Stones and Bravo. They got caught out straight away because they're adapting to a new free-form style that's really not necessarily alien to them, because Pellegrini was fairly free-form as it was, but they get exposed more often. and they have to improvise more often, and it just doesn't suit some players like Otamendi, like some of the front players.
Well,
the front three though were fantastic all season.
To be honest, like Otamendi and Mangala defending doesn't suit them.
No,
regardless,
it
it's
absolutely.
not.
I don't think football's really their thing.
No,
Mangala, no.
But Mangala,
good God, no.
No, he looks terrified every time the ball comes near him. He's like that specky kid in your class, going every time.
Who got picked last for your team?
Yeah, exactly. Every time you can just see the look of terror as the ball just like there's a deflection of the ball in midfield and it just loops towards him, and you can just see all of his bad life choices.
Yeah, you kind of hear Simon Garfunkel in the background. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, and then he gets cleaned out by the fucking by the kid who got kept back a year and is a full foot taller than everybody else.
So, like I said, the reason I kind of say like it was a bit like short-sighted. Okay, you said it's a failed experiment, but I'd argue that next season then it's going to be the refined package.
Well,
because they've already signed Ederson.
Ederson.
Which is their £40 million goalkeeper. They've already signed.
Makes him the most expensive keeper ever, doesn't it?
I believe it does. I think that trumps Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Which was before then. I could be wrong about that, but I think that would make him the most expensive keeper.
Yeah, it definitely makes him the most expensive keeper.
If the Hay deal doesn't go through, then yes.
It makes him the most expensive keeper ever to go to the Premier League. I'm not sure in the
definitely
world.
So, yeah.
So I mean, that alone was
that's an improvement, big time.
But that's also a tacit agreement that signing Bravo was a fucking mistake.
Oh, it's a disaster. Fucking disaster, absolutely.
If obviously you didn't need any signs to know that that's a disaster. All you have to do is just watch the game.
Just look at him, yeah, exactly.
But the fact that they've now signed in a keeper to go in ahead of him.
No, that's the wrong glove, Bravo. No, put your right one on the right hand. Oh my God.
He's got your socks on his hand again.
£23 million.
How much are you getting a week? Fuck.
Manchester City kit man wasn't paid enough.
Yeah, absolute. It was just absolute, but they've refined their attacking options.
Yeah,
I think he went with a typically Guardiola front top heavy team. Mm-hmm. So and they worked quite well.
Yeah, I think that team got better when Sané got in the team for full time, and then you had like maximum pace. Like imagine that front three next season when they're all fit and like.
That's a huge if. Though.
Yeah, Sané, Jesus, Sterling. That's your front three. It's a lot of pace. There's not much strength in there. Sané's probably the strongest out of the three, but Sterling, you could just like fucking sneeze on him when he blows away.
Absolutely.
So he needs to toughen up a bit. De Bruyne though, like we'd be playing things like he'd be more in a deeper role. I'd say he'd be
out on the flanks. I'd say he'd be.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't know what the best midfield for them would be.
Well, the deeper line midfield would have to be something like Silva with Fernandinho.
Yeah.
So you stick De Bruyne out on the wings.
They're kind of spoiled for choice at that, and that's those three for the midfield because they're still going to do 4-3-3, I'm sure.
Yeah, and and they obviously are going to have to do stuff with Europe, so there's going to be a bit of rotation. I think the most rotation is going to be in that midfield.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to say that I think Manchester City recovered really well from the tragedy of losing Ilkay Gundogan. May he rest in peace, of course.
He's be buried alongside his kneecaps.
And Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who also died this season. May he rest in peace.
The hamstring snake.
Seriously, is that not the most fucking cringeworthy thing we've had this season? It's like, oh, we've lost Ilkay Gundogan for the season. Well, that's a shame, really. I suppose we better pay tribute to him like he's dead. That's good.
Let's wear t-shirts with his name on it.
Like so, Danny Ings had that happen to him twice in a row, and he just goes, no, I'll be alright. It's like, yeah, but we want to give you flowers. We want to pay tribute to you. Fuck off. I'm fine. I just have a torn ACL again. Whoopsie. Oh, it's awful. Sorry, I didn't. I forgot someone has PTSD for that. But honestly, I would be still quite optimistic for Manchester City fans next season because, like I said, new goalkeeper more or less on the books. Andre Silva is confirmed as well, so that's another like playmaker for the midfield. The fullbacks are most certainly going to get overhauled. Like they might even take Danny Rose and Kyle Walker off Spurs in a double deal. That's entirely possible. Or they might get somebody from Monaco, whoever the fullbacks are from Monaco. I think it's Mendy. I think his name is.
Yeah.
And that's like a £40 million deal as well. So it's huge money being thrown around.
Of course,
it's
City.
Of course, yeah. But the thing is, though, those are the like weak points of that team. So once they're addressed, I think this Man City team could be favourites to win next season.
Yeah, no.
If they're addressed,
I see Guardiola being more prepared for the kind of more physical aspect.
Yeah.
Like their biggest loss was against Everton, and you look at the team, and it's
like he didn't get English football initially. Like he started off well, and then when it just got into the grind where he's dealing with like
could he do it on a
cups
cold, wet night in Stoke? No. No, well, actually,
he did this season. Yeah,
but
Burnley though, that was what pissed him off.
That's the thing. It kind of reminds me of the story about Perez's first ever game for Arsenal. He was on the bench and it was against Stoke. And the reports were he was just sat there looking at this footballing kung fu tribute to Saving Private Ryan in front of him. And he can remember very comments were just Perez just had this look of horror on his face, going, "What is this? Is football? This is what you call football? You people fucking you want me to play? Fuck off
with that."
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm not called Twinkle Toes for no reason.
And I like my toes still connected to the bottom half of my leg. Not given to me in a doggy bag afterwards. Found these in the pitch.
Yeah. May he rest in peace, Aaron Ramsey.
Absolutely. So that's just it. That kind of reminds me. I can just imagine, Guardiola going to, say, the Burnley games and just watching his players just getting absolutely bet around.
Yeah, like he can't understand. He probably can't get his head around why George Boyd is like a better winger than, say, Raheem Sterling. Like he just can't grasp that it's not about talent sometimes. It's about work rate and tactical astuteness. It's like, but it doesn't make sense. That's wrong.
So no, I think they might win the league. It depends, obviously.
I think to be favourite, I would classify them as favourites for next season, but it's because of their transfer business.
They'll finish hard in third anyway, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah.
There'll be a shoot off between them and Chelsea, I think.
I think so too. I think I'd say, at least for me anyway, I see it between Chelsea and Man City. Then there's like a big scrap then for battle for thirds, which for teams that we'll get to momentarily. But like I said, it was a bit of a shambles this season. At least starting off with the likes of Stones and
it's been a hilarious shambles. To be honest, I've quite enjoyed this shambles because every time
I think it's quite cathartic. Unless for like someone like Guardiola who treats himself very seriously as this like Dennis in the football.
But what I like the chaotic element to a City game. Like the City Arsenal FA Cup semi-final was just. I thought that was a perfect matchup of stylings.
Yeah.
Two teams so front loaded and really panicky at the back. Because I think that was our third or fourth game in which we'd gone to our back three.
Yeah.
I think our game with them was very, very similar. I think it was around Christmas.
Yeah. You're never bored watching City anyway.
No.
I'll have to admit.
No, that's true. They were always entertaining for whatever reason.
Yeah. Whether or not it's them scoring brilliant free-flowing goals or them shipping 4 against piss poor Everton who wound up fielding their youth team and still scored.
Yeah, they put in that was the first game that Tom Davis played and was like that breakout. Was like he scored like in 9 minutes on his debut and he looked like fucking Dele Alli out there. He was running the show.
I'm a Lookman as well. He scored the fourth goal
Lookman.
as well.
Lookman.
But in any case,
yeah.
They're gonna splash the cash in the summer. I was about to say it was like because I think I got asked by a friend of mine, what do you think about City next season? And I was like, well, it depends on whether or not they're willing to splash the cash in summer because they're gonna have to. And I'm like, they've already spent 90 million.
Yeah, it will be about. I think I've heard that they're gonna plan to spend about 110.
Yeah,
and that's on 3 players.
Yeah, so they're already into 9 figures.
Yeah,
9-figure spend, and the window hasn't even opened yet.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all pre-contract.
We're. Yeah, they're.
It's promising for them, I have to say. At least there is a clear kind of like they've learned from their mistakes sort of attitude.
But they're playing with the cheat codes. It's just like Chelsea.
Well,
they're playing with the cheat
clubs
codes.
have got cheat codes now. They're all financially backed. Even like teams in the fucking Championship are like signing players from Porto and Monaco. Wolves. Sorry, terrible cough I've got there. But that's the way that this has gone now.
But City and Chelsea are on another level of cheat coding.
And like I said, they're probably the 2 contenders for the league.
That's
much the way it's gone. Anyway, let's move on to this should be. I actually want to see what you guys think of this. Liverpool.
Hey.
So we're back. Thank fuck. For the longest time, it was not looking like we were going to be back. I really thought towards the end of the season that we're going to fuck it up.
You definitely made it difficult for yourself.
We really made it hard work. So we finished 4th in the end, 76 points. It was effectively confirmed on the final day after beating Middlesbrough. While you guys were toiling away at Everton. Well, I say toiling away. Everton just... It'd be great if our rivals got Europa League football. We're going to head off, actually. You guys want to take over? Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
we're cool here.
Yeah. But at least like it is a vast improvement on what we had last season in terms of, not like having a team that doesn't make any sense. Like having Big Benteke up and all the other players play on the ground. Klopp in charge as well. Really start, like I said, the counter pressing is really working a treat, and we have the right personnel for it now, and everyone's playing the same way. And we had some really good results as well, especially at home at the start. Like Hull and Watford, they were great. As Neil boils the kettle during this broadcast, that's very professional. You could
throw me in the pot there.
Fuck it.
If you just want a cup of tea, just ask.
I don't need to ask. I'm not 4.
Or at least pause the mic so it doesn't come across.
It's fine. People know what tea is.
No, yeah, if I didn't explain what that weird fucking distortion noise in the mic was, then people would think we're terrible.
Distorted.
We're just unprofessional. That's different. So anyway, like I said, we some strong home wins. Then that home form kind of deteriorated as all of our injuries piled up. That was a kind of big problem for us, that we never really had our best 11 for the second half of the season.
Sort of, with regards to your injuries, I think your main bone of contention came when Mane went to the Cup of Nations.
Yes.
And without him, there was a noticeable drop in energy from the team.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, what do we do now? Oh shit, there was definitely someone here who did a job here. What was it again?
They're actually still passing to that empty space.
Like, we did that a few times, actually. We did that. It was like against Hull or something, we kept playing it to the right flank. It's like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah, somebody slings a square ball across the front of the box. For fuck's sake, Manny, where the fuck? Oh.
He's been gone 3 weeks. I know, I miss him. But even then, like, even when Mane came back, then we still like missing players. Like, we still just didn't have the quartet that we wanted, which was Lallana, Coutinho, Firmino, and Mane. Mm-hmm. There was always somebody missing or someone out of form. And then obviously we lost Henderson like really regularly over the season, which was irritating because, like I said, Henderson was getting a lot better before he got injured again. Like, he was playing at number 6 and he was doing it really well. Mm-hmm. It's just a pity we lost him again. And then we had to rejig the whole midfield then and play and change our style. Like, lower energy, more game management, and it let us down quite a bit, especially at home.
Yeah, no, without Henderson routinely rinsing the midfielders of the opposition teams.
Yeah.
It was just...
It's a pity.
I will say Liverpool were less painful to watch this season. I tend to rip on Liverpool for being one of the most boring top sides. In like it's just, I hate Henderson. And Milner's face like a
Milner has been our best player this year. I don't care what you say. That man deserves a medal.
Okay,
he can't. No. Okay. He's not been your best player.
Yes, he has. I don't care. Shut
That's
up.
been Coutinho.
No.
If James Milner is your best player, you've got bigger problems.
He filled a hole for us that was Moreno shaped, and he filled it very well.
But that's because Moreno's shit.
I know.
It's like
shit. I know that. I'm well aware of that, but he still did the job for us. That man deserves a cup of tea.
No, I never.
Speaking of,
yeah, go make your tea now. While we're talking of it.
Like, I never said he couldn't do a job. In fact, that's one of the things but that's all he can do is do a job. He is quite literally the utility player.
Yeah. But you need that in a squad, though. You need someone who just goes like...
Yes, but he's not your best player.
To play, boss.
He's not your best player, though.
I know. I'm fucking joking, you people. Seriously. Good God, I can never take you anywhere.
It says something that Mane can be gone for... how many weeks of the season and still come out as joint top scorer.
Yeah, like I said, that kind of shows how toothless we became towards the end of the season. Like, we really struggled for goals.
Like, you've got
two of Coutinho's came against Middlesbrough. Didn't he score twice? So
like
a Middlesbrough team that were like still trying to get the sand out of the books.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh fuck, mate. Oh fuck. You know,
relegated.
He scored 2 again. It's kind of like, when you go, Harry Kane, he scored 29 goals. Oh, that's amazing. No. His last 6 came against 2 teams that were
last 7
came against
in the last
2
2
teams
games
that were on the beach.
Yeah.
Those teams were actually on the beach.
Yes,
you know, they were part of, the crowd was showing up with umbrellas and shit.
I know, I know, but at least from our standpoint,
context.
Goals with context. That's what we need. That's what we need for stats.
Yes, absolutely.
But truth be told, it's only a positive season for us. It's a pity we didn't get to a cup final. But like I said, I think eyes on the prize when you look at it. 4th place is what we needed to do this season, and we got it. So by hook or by crook, at least now with the top 4 status, we can attract players that we need. Mm-hmm. So, and there's a lot of players that we need. We certainly need at least 2 left backs.
James Milner the third, James Milner the fourth.
We just clone James Milner and just have him play everywhere and score no goals at all.
Well, to be honest with you, it would be very easy to clone such a simple cell organism.
You just go to Yorkshire. You go to Yorkshire, you pick the first farmer you see, and that's James Milner. There you go, straight away. Everyone in Yorkshire is James Milner. You actually go there, prove it. I'll show you. Just look at the Leeds play side. They're all James Milner in disguise. Different haircuts.
Leagues of square men running around chasing the ball.
That's what they are. They're square men.
He is totally square. He looks like he
is
he
quite
looks
square.
Like he was made by Mattel.
I was thinking, Milner man.
Yeah.
There's no actually explosions. He just this is the poor
a
picture of a teacup.
It's not explosions. It's a cloud of steam off a fucking kettle.
Yes, I love this already. Mattel, if you're listening to this, get on that straight away. That's the best ad ever.
Give us free stuff.
Send it to canihelpyoumatis@gmail.com. So,
it's been a good season for Liverpool. I'm like, you're not guaranteed into the Champions League.
No, we go through the playoff.
You were saying that you were looking up some of the potential playoff candidates, and you could get some awkward motherfuckers. You could get Sevilla, couldn't you?
No, not Sevilla. No. Sevilla go through, I think, automatically because Spain gets their top four straight away. Oh, shit. Spain is the top ranked side.
Yeah, they have the highest coefficient.
Yes.
Lowest coefficient.
Highest coefficient. Yeah, that's how it works. So they get there in automatically. Like fourth place would be playoff. I think Germany's the same way. I think so. Where England and Germany are equal, but we can get
Bayern Munich and two other teams,
more or less. Yeah, just like it's a lucky bag. That's how. One of the things was fucking weird this season. There's just a real lucky bag for teams. Like Hoffenheim is in the Champions League.
Yeah,
that's one of the teams we can get. It's Hoffenheim. Nice is another one because they were the third place team in France. Sporting Lisbon we can get as well.
That would be fucking cracking.
It was a cracking match, but I don't want us to play. But it depends on the seeding as well. There's a few other teams that can go through the other playoff rounds.
There's a lot of potential spanners.
Yeah, the Victoria Pilsen, Czech champions, Istanbul, Bakakespor, I think it's called. I looked them up. Yeah, I looked them up
in Istanbul.
Exactly.
We'll never hear the fucking end of that.
Oh no!
I actually think we're going to have to ward off the internet for a full week.
If that happens,
yeah,
that's going to be painful. I know, and I know that speaking as a Liverpool fan, we sometimes go on a bit too much. When you see like ads for saying, "Here, remember that night in Istanbul? We'll find people from there." I know they're here every fucking year to talk about it. It's literally the only thing they do.
You've got fond memories of it. Shut the fuck up!
Just that Carragher slide tackling everyone. Shut the fuck!
Yeah.
And then slapping Danny Simpson around. Anyway.
You should just do that anyway.
That would be good anyway. What do you I want to kind of see what you guys think about our our squad. I know you've said a little bit about
it is ridiculously top heavy.
Yeah, and it's also no squad depth at all.
There's no depth as well. That's what I was about to kind of chime in with. It was
we had nothing but youth players towards the end.
I was saying there if Liverpool have a good starting 11, it works, it's functional, it's ridiculously attack minded.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't necessarily see as a bad thing.
So long as we balance it.
Funnily enough, one of the reasons why you almost won the league is because Rodgers abandoned that heavy possession-based style of football that he loved and just went, fuck it, just score, I don't care. Just run forward and score.
Liverpool 6.
Get it to the guy up front with the teeth.
And a tiny bit of racism.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, just make sure you just keep them away from the black people.
Yeah, it's good.
But that's it. I'd say your biggest issue is just you have zero depth.
Yeah.
You've got all the depth of
Liverpool ladies have more depth than the Liverpool men.
I would take your word on that. Yeah. I would. Like I said, a lot of that is kind of it's self-inflicted as well because we just kind of said. We just kind of said, fuck it, let's just leave it the way it is. We didn't really bother to sign anyone else. We could have signed a left back, we didn't bother. And we could have
James Milner.
Exactly, that's the thing. We had James Milner
literally doing everything.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's going to be different next season. Where, like I said, one surprising thing that came up for me when we were struggling for goals is that we have absolutely no wingers. And it was like a real kind of blind spot I only noticed when we were playing really, really square and
like James
Milner. We were playing Milner, yeah. And
hey, you know what they say? Field square players.
You play square.
you play square. Get. Shut up.
You
know what I'm going.
You tried.
I tried.
But like I said, that's why it seems that we're in for Mo Salah, which would be a good deal if we
get it done. Turned down.
We're still in talks apparently.
Right.
As of this recording. It could very well have broken down since. But that would be a good deal if we can get it. Like I said, we have Markovic coming back. They had a decent run of Hull. I'd like to see him still at the squad because he's still a young lad and we just kind of a waste to get rid of him. You know, I'd say the same thing about Sacco because we need some depth in defence as well.
You're not going to get Sacco back.
I know, but I want that. I want it myself. I want Sacco to be there.
You could very possibly go for Danny Rose.
I don't want Danny Rose though.
No,
I want someone who has talent.
What you want is Oxlade-Chamberlain, which you ain't fucking getting.
I would happily take Oxlade-Chamberlain for our midfield, but it seems that we're going for Naby Keita instead from Leipzig. I think Ox is still on our list, but he's not our first choice now. I think we seem dead set on what we want now. Right, next up on our list is oh dear, this is going to be interesting. Arsenal.
Hey!
For the first time, finished out of the top 4 in nearly 20 years. Oh, more than 20 years.
More than 20 years, actually, yeah.
75 points in total, but you guys did win the FA Cup.
Yay!
By beating Chelsea.
We won more trophies at Tottenham.
In fact, Arsenal, isn't that what that like? Arsene Wenger has now won, like, personally won more trophies than Spurs ever have. Isn't it something like, it's something crazy like that?
There is. I know he's won the most FA Cups as a manager. Like that's an all-time record. He's won 7.
Arsenal as a team we've more FA Cups than anybody else.
Yeah,
13.
You could be right.
No,
Yeah, I think is it, or do you share it with United?
We were sharing with United on 12.
Okay,
we are now.
That's I think okay.
We are now the winningest team in the FA Cup.
The winningest.
Winningest.
That's an official name.
Most winningest team.
That's a wonderful thing about the football podcast. We just invent words when we need to.
Fuck yeah.
Like Liam Brady and ferocity. Veracity. I can't even say it the way he said it.
Yeah, it's a word unique to him. It's like covfefe. But let's break it down. As it were.
Yeah.
It wasn't been the greatest season for you guys. Let's be fair, in the league.
Yeah.
And in Champions League, then we're just not going to talk about it. I think it's reasonable to say.
Yep.
Losing 10 to the Bayern Munich, as seems to be the routine nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
What was different for Arsenal this season? Because you seem to address the holes in your team in the summer with Xhaka. You got backup in strike force with Lucas Perez, and you got Mustafi as well for your central defence. So what really, I don't say it went wrong, but where is that really is lacking this year?
Leadership.
Yeah.
As has been a thing for years and years and years, that we have great captains on social media who Gunners, hashtags, and who do lovely sentimental posts about coming back, but actually on the pitch do not lead the pitch in a way that, or lead the team in a way that is needed, I suppose. Like, as soon as the team take a knock in any sort of match, like, if they concede a corner that shouldn't have been conceded, it's like, heads down, fuck it, we've lost it. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be like that.
The refs against us were fucked.
Yeah, so it's always about that, really, isn't it? It's not like on the players looking at themselves. It's always kind of something against that. At least for me, like, I know Sanchez scored a lot of goals for you this season, 24 in total, which is up there really with some of the best this season. But some of the individual players, I think, also had a really poor season overall. I can't really look at certain games. Maybe the FA Cup final at one, that he brought in a stunning individual performance, and he, like, as it were, won the game.
Yeah, he was anonymous for quite a lot of the season, and I don't know. It's just
it looks like you've just lost ground on everyone else.
We kind of going okay to the midpoint of the season. Things were starting to get a little iffy and trippy up there. Then the whole shit about, will Arsene sign on again? Will he not? And
this
then
Wenger out crew then getting a bit of voice.
Yeah. Then the uncertainty behind that was just overwhelming. So nobody had a fucking clue what was going on. Mm-hmm. So the team really had no purpose. Nobody had a clue what the fuck was going on, and then that translated onto the pitch.
Yeah.
Heads went down, the performances just went out the fucking window, and it was just awful.
Like, it's reasonable to say that this is like the first year that at least the Arsenal team felt the pressure of the fans. I know, like it's been kind of culminating over the last few years anyway, but this is the year where, like, it tangibly affected the team and affected the manager, because more or less almost every time that Wenger was speaking, there was always one question about this brigade of people who want him to leave.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's the main query he's fielding now, as opposed to why his team aren't, or his team is winning or losing.
Yeah.
And like I said, it must affect him I'm sure, from that side. But as you said, he signed on now until 2019. Do you see Arsenal improving, or would a change of leadership change a system?
Well, see, the funny thing is that what we've said, I think we kind of touched on this before. Arsenal's not just the coach; he's the manager, and he literally runs everything. His job now at another club is like 5 or 6 people's job.
Yeah.
If we'd have gotten rid of him now, or if he hadn't have re-signed, and by the way, I've also said this before in the previous podcast, I believe he signed that back in October. I believe that he was offered 2 years back in October.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't make the announcement is because the team hit a slump. There was a bad run of form, and then the Arsenal board tried to change the terms of that contract
to include director of football.
Directors of football. I mean, as I said as well, he's Arsene Wenger a couple of years ago during a fucking press conference when I think it was when Tixie Bergestein was ripping it up at City and redefining what it means to be a director of football. I think a journalist asked him, "Would you work with a director of football?" And he went, "Yeah, I would, as long as he did everything I said."
Yeah.
You know, and then during that fucking hilarious press conference, he's like, "What's a director of football do? What does he stand on the side of the road telling players to go left and right?" Do you really believe that Arsene Wenger doesn't know what a fucking director of football does?
Yeah, he's being coy, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's not going to work with one. He's made that tacitly blunt. So I think that's
surely
what they would.
He has to at this stage, because the recruitment process has clearly seen to be subpar at most. Like, granted, you can say like young players and like young English players, he's got it well, because you have players like Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott who have done
Holding.
okay, and Holding. I was about to say Holding was been a
Holding's
big
been
success this season.
fantastic.
But and again, it's because he's in the back three as well. That's helped him out a good bit. But even like with players, like high profile players that's going into the first team straight away, Xhaka and Mustafi. Mustafi's been okay. Xhaka, I think, has been a very bad signing. Personally, I think he's had a rough year.
He was bad for the first half of it. I thought he just really didn't get into it. He really did. I think also a lot of it stemmed from a kind of misinterpretation of what he was meant to be doing. When Xhaka was first signed, everybody was going, "Oh, he's going to be like Coquelin times 2."
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, no, that's not what he does. You look at I watched a couple of Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. Mönchengladbach, yeah.
Matches. I was like, no, he doesn't do what Coquelin does. So he suffered from initially people assuming that he was going to be doing something totally different from what he actually was meant to be doing, what he was told to be doing. He did have a bad first half of the season. Second half, he started to improve. His last couple of performances have been very good. He's formed a very nice partnership with Rambo in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
That's been very good. That's helped us out. Another thing I think that we really, really suffered from was from not having Santi Cazorla.
Yeah. That was very evident. There's no real drive in the midfield.
We'd started off the whole 4-2-3-1 system, or whatever fucking 4-at-the-back system, worked because right in front of that back four you had Santi Cazorla, and you'd Cazorla and Coquelin, so you'd had that kind of nice destroyer creator type of thing.
Yeah,
and that worked because with the 4-at-the-back, then you could push the wings up and you'd have all that shit going on in the middle, and because Cazorla, you just can't get the ball off the cunt.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And I think there was a great game against City when I think he was just dribbling around the edge of our box, and like 4 City players came in and put in tackles, and he just
it was like
waltzed out.
It was like an Iniesta moment.
Yeah, he just picked it out and just walked in and just passed it forward. So without him, the system built around him obviously didn't work.
Yeah.
And we were struggling for fluidity in that midfield, and I think now that we've gone to 3 at the back, it works better.
Yeah.
I think as well with Cazorla being out, Ramsey, who has an amazing partnership with Cazorla, wasn't getting the ball that he was used to, and then he ended up getting dropped.
Yeah.
He wasn't used as much. That meant that Giroud, who has a great partnership with Ramsey, I think the link there is Ramsey didn't have a great season, so, and I don't know, maybe people realised that's how much we rely on him, because he was kind of that connector, but him and Giroud together are unbelievable. Like all of Giroud's goals, if you go back through the last 5 seasons or whatever, how many assists of Giroud's goals are Ramsey's? Like,
and vice versa as well.
and vice versa. Like that goal in the FA Cup, like Ramsey's goal was perfect Giroud Ramsey, combination, and we've been missing that all season.
Yeah, I think we've said it before with our Arsenal is that we tend to build up partnerships between players, which is great because that gives you that kind of intuitive fluidity when you've got players like Rosicky used to be an awful one for just being sheerly brilliant with a couple of other players, like doing blind backheel passes to people and it working perfectly because he had that kind of synergy there.
Yeah.
But it's bad because when
that player is gone, then
when the injuries inevitably hit, we don't lose one player. We actually kind of lose two.
Yeah.
And that's not making excuses. It's just the way the team.
That kind of makes sense because I did feel that Ramsey's season was quite lacking. And now that you kind of explained to me the relationship between him, Giroud and Cazorla, that makes a lot more sense now. Because I just did feel that whenever he is playing, he just looks a bit lost.
Yeah.
Ozil as well to some extent.
He's now fitted in better with Xhaka now because the two of them have realised, he now knows...
The roles are more defined.
The roles are more defined. He now knows that Xhaka is not going to be a bit of a destroyer. He's actually going to be somebody to hold the ball up, allow Ramsey to do what he does best, which is bomb forward like a headless muppet. And because Xhaka is just this incredible range of passing, he'll just spray that ball, and that's the best thing about it now. And you can see in the last couple of games, I think the last 10 games, which he won 9 of, not including the FA Cup games, that's all he was just that kind of midfield pivot, and just everything was just sprayed off of him. As
I said, since you've also switched to back three, there has been a tangible improvement. But is it because you have changed the system, or is it because of a back three? Which one is it? Is it because you just have changed something, or is it the back three is now the best route to go for?
Both. You know, it could be both. It could be just something. It was refreshing, and the players just took to it because it was something different.
And it's a different team as well.
And
it's
also it suits kind of the strengths to it suits our characters now. Now we're not looking for 4 defenders. Well, we're not looking for 3 types of defenders. We're not looking for a right back, a left back, and 2 centre mids. We're looking for 3 centre mids and 2 wing backs, which we have plenty of. Yeah. And we can sign. We have plenty of centre backs.
Yeah. You know? Centre backs isn't your problem, I don't think. It's more so. Yeah, it's like it's kind of a leadership thing, because I wanted to ask, because obviously you guys have Europa League this season, and I don't want to keep mentioning that obviously, but this is going to be a very interesting summer for you guys, because typically at least the last few seasons you've been linked, or you've gone for one high profile somewhere all sizing. So it's always been like
Xhaka last year, we needed a holding midfielder. So
you guys had 2 this season, would have been Mustafi and Xhaka, but even before then they were even more high profile, like Alexis and then Ozil beforehand. And they were that was the start of like Arsenal's new agenda, just like let's get a quality player and stick him in the team somewhere. What is it going to be like this summer? Because obviously Europa League football, you're not going to get that caliber player again. But it's also going to be harder to retain that caliber player again.
It's a funny thing that people say that. I was like, well, Manchester United don't seem to have a fucking problem with that.
But that's because they throw money at it.
You know,
they throw ridiculous money at it.
Yeah, we're not going to do like stupid shit like them. Like we're not.
Exactly. We'll get to him. We'll get to them.
But I don't think it's going to afflict us too much. We don't really go in for elite level talent anyway.
But how are you going to keep the players that are there already, like Alexis, like Ozil, and all that? Look it up, and let's face it, there's a lot of deadwood in your Arsenal squad right now.
Well, that's the thing. There's going to be a clear out. See, the thing is that it's going to be a similar vein to what happened with the Dutch skunk, in that the reason why he left isn't because he's it is also because he's a turncoat cunt. It's just
how to get that in there.
It's because he didn't see the team moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's why when everybody's asking me about predictions about Arsenal, and I'm going to do this now today, is like because I no predictions. I'm waiting until seeing what we do in the summer.
Yeah, and that's a good decision to do.
That's it, because it depends. Because I think I was asked by a couple of friends as well. Was right. What do you think with Wenger signing a 2-year deal? What do you think? Is it going to be change, or is it just going to be more the same for the next 2 years? And I went, wait until the summer. Yeah, this summer will show everything. If we go, we've got a decent start. So I had Kolasinac, the new left back,
for free as well.
We got him. Well, we're going to have to give him a bit of a hefty sign on, and he's going to be on a bit higher wages.
Yeah, but you're not paying Schalke any money as such, because it is pre-contract.
Absolutely, and I actually have a friend who lives just out on I can't remember exactly where he lives, but he lives just in the outskirts of Schalke, and he's actually he's normally when he lived over here he was a Manchester United fan, but when he moved to Germany he's like, I'm gotta pick a team, and it was Schalke 04. Good. And he said he's pinged me an email when the whole side thing was that, and he's got, man, you got a shit hot left back there. He goes, you are shit hot. And then when I saw he's in the Bundesliga team of the season at left back, And I was like, oh yeah, well, you know, what about him? Like, what about him? He's like, one thing is that he's not built like a left back. He's 6'1" and he's about 14.5 stone.
Yeah.
So he's like, you don't think nippy left back with those kind of dimensions. Like, he's a big blocky guy.
Yeah.
What he does is he knocks the ball past the guy and then accelerates into the player, leaving them flat on their arse usually.
So is he? Would you say he's a direct replacement for Monreal?
Yes.
Knowing that Monreal also slots in a centre back.
Yes. Ish. Kind of. He won't slot in at centre back. He'll slot in at left back because Schalke. He's used to playing in a back three. Schalke did that, but Schalke had a bit of a dip.
Okay.
In form, actually quite a bad dip in form. This is what I'm told. I don't watch Bundesliga, and to kind of correct that, they switched to a flat back four.
Right.
And he went that left back, and apparently it was seamless.
Oh.
So
See,
he can play both systems.
The only
He's
thing,
great at both
the only thing I
systems.
know about Schalke is that they seemingly just don't want to make money from their players because we got Joel Matip off them for free as well, and it's like. You just let us have a 24-year-old central defender who's like really strong, doesn't have any like national team commitments, so you're guaranteed to have him. He's generally in good nick. You could have got 30 million from him, but nope. You want to give us for free? Fuck it, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it as well.
And of course they're the team that gave us Leroy Sané as well. So
we've started off good.
yeah,
It needs to continue.
and obviously I'm not sure if it's confirmed yet or not, but Onyekuru as well is more or less confirmed.
Really?
Yeah, more or less confirmed.
Funnily enough, I was listening to the Arse blog there, and they had a BBC reporter on, and he said that that's all complete bollocks.
Really?
There's been no deal, no offer, no nothing. Apparently, it's all from Onyekuru's agent.
That it's entirely possible because like there is a lot of hype about this kid. He's apparently like a left midfielder, but he's been playing like for a lower league Belgian side. Like let's say lower league. He's in the Premier Division over there, but it's like one of the lower teams and scored 20 goals. He's the top. He's a league's top scorer.
Apparently, he's shit hot. He's yet,
and he's not even a striker. He's a left midfielder.
Yeah, he's yet to turn out for the Super Eagles. Yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was listening to the article.
But he sounds like, well, even when I look at it, like I get really kind of like ringing like bells again to like Joel Campbell and how like he was seen as red as shit hot as well, and then was caught in limbo with work permits and stuff. Yeah. So maybe there is some truth to that sense that the deal is bullshit, but still. I had heard a fee agreed of £7 million for him. Whether that's true or not will remain to be seen. But it's another midfielder in what is still a bloated midfield. So surely there has to be some deadwood cut. So if you had to, what players would you get rid of? Like three straight, like let's say 3 or 4 straight away. Who goes?
Sonogo, Campbell. Oh, is Campbell gone? Didn't we?
No.
Was he out on loan?
He's out on loan with Sporting.
Yeah, well, Sonogo, get rid of him. Campbell, get rid of him. Debussy, get rid of him. And it'll kill me to say this, but Jenkinson.
He's a popular lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
But
and
those are the 4.
Honest, I wouldn't even stop at 4. There's a good others. There's
Wilshere?
a few others. Yeah. Get rid of Wilshere. He's broken his leg again.
What about Gibbs?
Get rid of Gibbs. To be honest, I think
I have a soft spot for Gibbs.
Yeah, so do I.
But if you're getting another left back, surely that's saying that you don't have any confidence.
I think Gibbs is on the way out. I think that's why we got Kolasinac. And in any case, Gibbs just isn't up to it. He's been fielded at left wing back a good couple of times throughout the season, and he's just not. So
that's already saying that's 7 players you've earmarked to be transfer listed, and that's not including any like offers that come in for say
David Ornstein from the BBC denied the Onyekuru link.
Well, we'll go with that then for the moment. But either way, the chap's probably going to a Premier League side anyway because there's a lot of people scouting them.
Maybe.
But either way, like you've earmarked 7 players, and that's not even including whatever kind of like offers that may come in because Bayern Munich is potentially bidding for Alexis. Ozil will probably be subject to interest as well.
The 2 big boys, Ozil and Sanchez, who are going to be.
I would say at least one will leave.
Then you've got Walcott and Ox, who are constantly being linked away.
Yeah.
So I
don't see how Walcott can fit into this back 3 system.
See, I don't see Walcott leaving, and I don't see Ox leaving. I don't see Nemo leaving. Ozil. I don't see Ozil leaving. No, but all for different reasons. I don't see Ozil and Walcott leaving because I don't see anybody putting in an offer for them.
Okay.
I don't see Ox leaving because he's posted up the best numbers this season that he's ever done.
And the system, the 3-back system suits his type of player.
Works for him. He can't deny that
he actually had a great game in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, he always turns up for the FA Cup. I don't know what it is. He always seems to be his best for the FA Cup.
Just fucking loves it.
Yeah,
fair play.
Good. And he players like that.
And that's just it. Like, and who else? Fuck yeah, I see a lot. Hopefully, I see a lot of deadwood being cut out of the
Yeah.
team. That'll trim hundreds of thousands off our wage bill,
And potentially, and would that then lead up to get another star player in then?
Yeah.
Like
To be honest with you, I reckon two.
Really?
Two
Okay.
or three.
Do you know what? I'll wait until I see it.
Yeah, I don't hold any.
Like this
hope
seems more like
for
a
good transfers when it comes to Arsenal. Like, they're just. I like the surprises. I don't tend to follow any Twitter bullshit. I don't tend to. You know,
so you always wait out for the surprise almost.
Yeah,
Or
which
until it's
inevitably
almost
never
confirmed.
comes. But no, it's just because I get my hopes up. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna sign this player. It's amazing, and I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna get that name on my jersey, and then it's like, what am I on about? They're not signing for us.
I need to go back to my meds.
Glue up.
Like I said, it's gonna be interesting as well because I feel like, at least for me, like because the big losing the big four is a big deal to Arsenal. Let's face it, it is a big deal. But I don't think it's not a big like hit financially that many people perceive it to be. It's more so that they're not the attractive club than they would be in top four.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. But it's also players like high profile ones like Alexis and Ozil. They will not want to be in the Europa League, you know, because there is a stigma with the Europa League. It is a second like European competition, and whether it be like by ego or by pride or just a general kind of like, you know, treat yourself like a professional, there's probably something in it that doesn't want to be in that competition. So I will say, like I said, I do personally think that it'll be more of a defensive transfer window for Arsenal than offensive, if you know what I mean. They're not going to be out to buy players. They're going to be out to sell players, or at least they're going to be trying to, like, you know, keep players as much as they can, like Sanchez and Ozil. I still feel that at least one will go, and I'd say the one that will most likely go would be Alexis.
Sanchez, yeah,
I think so,
because
because he's more on form. Also, I think he just had a very bad year and just didn't seem keen on it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think one of the reasons why, the chief reason why Ozil won't go is because nobody will have offered for anything for him.
But if they do, though, I know Arsenal would probably try and reject it, but surely
it depends.
If say like as being like supposedly rumored, Bayern Munich comes in with an offer,
maybe
substantial, big money.
Vidal has come out and openly said to reporters that he's been tapping Alexis. He's been saying, "Here, come over here," because they played for Chile together. I don't know, like. It's gonna be
it's a wait and see approach.
It's a defining summer, and it's more defining than any other of our seasons.
And I think if you are going to turn negative into positive, this is the year where you make widespread changes, where you scrap the entire team, start again, new system, new players developed from the youth academy. You know, this is the time to do it. If you are going to lose a whole lot of players, like high profile players, use this year to do it. Use the Europa League to bleed in new players, to bring back new players like Sanogo and Campbell. Use the Europa League to your advantage. Sure, you might be going off to travel to fucking arseholes and nowhere, but that's the time. Those are the kind of games that will define players and breed leadership. If you want to make a new captain, that's how you do it.
I reckon
on a smaller scale.
Mertesacker's going to stay on for another season,
but he's not in the first 11, surely.
I don't know. To be honest with you,
after the FA Cup,
he was just
phenomenal.
One game though. One game out of the season. Come on.
In all fairness, I do understand that the FA Cup is kind of a one-off.
Yes.
But he was fucking brilliant. And in terms of leadership, he doesn't get much better than that. He's a leader both on and off the pitch. Yeah. And just having him back orders, like, he marshalled that defence quite admirably. And
that's important to have.
Yeah.
But then if you are
the back three system suits a gimp like him.
Of course.
Have him in the centre and have either Mustafi, Koscielny, or Holding and Gabriel off either side.
That's another player I'd get rid of, is Gabriel. Yeah, I think he's failed.
He's not done very well either.
Even based on the two matches against Bayern, he was an absolute disaster.
Yeah,
he just didn't hold up for it all.
He's now wrecked a knee ligament. Well, I don't know, he did his medial in, which wasn't that serious. So he'll be out till August. I think I tweeted. You
might have said it to me.
Villarreal might be in for him.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's going,
but hey, that's the way it is.
It's
going to be a very interesting summer for you guys. It's
not even interesting. It's a crucial summer. And this summer will define the next 2 years of Arsene Wenger's. The last
legacy.
Can you see yourselves bounce back?
Yeah, if the right signings, the right summer is done.
Okay, and yourself, Burkball?
This hope thing.
See, I've never said I had a hope.
But you think you
technically, like, we could be fantastic, but it just never works out. Yeah. So it's just
I've not hope, but I am open to the idea of being pleasantly surprised.
You are agnostic to the idea of Arsenal improving.
Absolutely.
There we go. There we got it.
Okay,
excellent.
there we go.
So 2 agnostic Arsenal fans here, hoping for.
Honestly, that's the best way to be. But although there's a very animated Ian Wright interview going around where he's just screaming, "If you don't have hope, what the fuck else do you have?"
All you have left is Tony Adams. And we will get to Tony Adams when it's time to talk about the worst manager of the year. So, with that being said, though, let's talk about the 6th place side in the Premier League.
The money
team, Manchester United. So, it goes without saying that the Premier League was not exactly their strong suit this year. It was all about the competitions. So, they won the League Cup by beating Southampton 3-2. And then they beat Ajax in the Europa League final 2-0 to qualify for the Champions League. And that's automatic qualification as well.
They got pot 1, don't they?
They do, I think. No, pot 2.
Oh,
pot 2. Because that's where Sevilla ended up last time.
Cool.
So it's better than nothing, I suppose. For Jose Mourinho's first season at Manchester United, Zlatan and Pogba like draining the wage bill like nothing matters. To be honest, like it's just like again cheats code activated. But I have to be fair. The quality of football, as it like they've still got decent points. There's 69 points. Not great, but when you look at how that breaks down, there's 18 wins, 5 losses, 15 draws. That's way too much for a Manchester United side, especially one that is that has always historically prided itself on consistent win, especially at home. The home form this year for Manchester United has been atrocious, and that has
football in general has been
I was about to say the football in general I think has been atrocious.
It's been grueling.
What I love though is the fact that Mourinho is not getting any flack for parking the bus with Man United. Like at Chelsea, at least there was the whole kind of social media kind of, oh, here he goes, park the bus, kind of getting a little bit of stick for it. United, they go out to play for 0-0 and hope for the best, and the greatest manager in the...
I didn't get that impression. I felt like people just saw it as inevitable that he was going to to that, because they've seen it in Chelsea before.
He always does that. His first focus is to make his teams difficult to beat, and then just nicks a win.
But there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you're just playing negative football for the sake of it.
There's nothing wrong with that. You have to have some context to that. There's nothing wrong with that if
that's a building block.
If you've got a poxy team, if you've got like a nothing budget,
yeah.
If you're a shoestring, if you've just got nothing but academy graduates to back up on, and every transfer season is just focused on you not losing your best players. Mm-hmm. If you've pumped $500 million into the most expensively assembled squad in human history, no, that's totally wrong to do. If you've got £100 million midfielder and you're going, right, I want you to move back a bit, no.
Yes,
it's fucking awful.
Let's talk about this then.
It's just no. The football's been tripe. It's been atrocious, and he's not gotten nearly as much of abuse as he deserves for it. I had a friend actually. I had my friends who live across the road from me. They know season ticket holders for Manchester United. They went over 3 times in about the space of 2 months, and each time they went over, it was a 0-0.
That to me is insulting. It's insulting, isn't it?
It was fucking
to have a home team play like that is insulting.
They were against pony teams like West Brom
and Burnley.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, Manchester United against Burnley should not end 0-0. No. It should not.
Yeah.
Just on, like, as I've mentioned probably several times before, I hate watching Liverpool. But I actually preferred watching Liverpool to watching Man United this season, because it was absolutely horrendous to try and watch Manchester United. And I actually, the Arsenal United match, I didn't watch for the pure sake of I couldn't bear the thoughts of us losing to such a shit team, and we lost to Crystal Palace 3-0. And
that match, I was vomiting blood by the end of that match. I really was.
But the Manchester United, the thing is, they assembled by a manager, Mourinho, who I cannot stand.
Yeah.
They bought Ibrahimovic, who I cannot stand.
And paying him $380,000 a week, as confirmed by that Football League book.
Yeah. Well, they got him for free, didn't they?
Yeah.
They've Paul Pogba, who
can dab and nothing else.
He did a thing as a Euros or a World Cup. I don't even know.
He's a luxury player, I think is the best way to define him.
He was shit hot at Juve.
Yeah.
And then Manchester United bought him back on the basis of his performances with Juve, not realising that most of the performances that he had at Juve were based on the fact that the guy behind him mopping up his messes was Andrea Pirlo, who I think we've heard of.
Coolest man of football.
And as we can see, United don't have a player like that.
They're Michael Carrick.
Michael fucking Carrick.
DCI Michael Carrick.
In all fairness, he's been one of
I would call Michael Carrick probably the best player for United, and the reason is
I would say he's been one of their better players. I think their best player has been Bailey.
Yes,
however
actually you're right. Yeah, Bailey. Yeah.
Had it not been for him, and who I'd say maybe you could coin toss between him and Herrera.
Do you know I'm going to go for Herrera because he because since Mourinho has come in, I think Herrera's role has improved so much in that midfield.
In all fairness, I would give it to Herrera solely for when Manchester United beat Chelsea.
Yeah,
and Herrera did a fucking masterclass in man marking Eden Hazard
and Kante as well.
But without Hazard and Kante, but just the Herrera was just he was up Hazard's anus.
Like I said, it kind of defines United a bit because Herrera, I don't think he was necessarily a defensive midfielder. He was always a box to box guy for me.
I never really knew what the fuck he was meant to be.
Yeah, it was kind of.
He just seems to be deployed all over the place.
Yeah,
at times you would watch him play and you go, does he even know what he's meant to be doing?
I think he's just mindless. Ball over there, run.
Yeah. But now, at least under Mourinho, he's tactically really, really good. And it's getting to that stage where you can tell him what to do and he will do it, at least in the Mourinho standards. Carrick, I think, was a very important player to put in because I think even in the early season, they were winning games, sure, and then he started to slump. And the reason was because the midfield had absolutely no shape. It was starting to lose control, and that's when Pogba started coming in. So when Carrick came in and became the fulcrum of that midfield, then Pogba started to play better, and so did Herrera. It is that kind of thing you were talking about Cazorla, but it's a different role. It's just someone has to stay here and start everything.
It's more defensive because Cazorla could do shit further up.
Yeah.
And also he's a proper dead ball specialist. But no, just United have been turgid to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back to that constantly. They've been fucking awful.
Yeah.
We've had
out of the top 6 sides, the quality of football is by far the worst.
Actually, to be honest with you, I would extend it. There's quite a lot. Everton have been playing better football in those games. And
everything are relatively simple in terms of football. They just keep it tidy, they keep it neat, and
get it to
they
Lukaku.
do really good. Yeah, but that's the thing. You see, they that's what we were talking about even at the start of the season. We were making the argument about how the team is based around Zlatan when it should be based around someone with a bit more potential, like Pogba or even any other striker you have. But it's around Zlatan, so everything has to go to Zlatan. When he's in the team, I would argue they played a lot better because you have to now rely on players like Lingard and Rashford, who I think had 2 decent seasons.
Martial,
even no, that's a good point. Martial is the same thing. You're relying on these players to have a bit of energy.
Let's say Manchester United are under no threat of paying out the Ballon d'Or clause.
Not at the moment. I don't think that'll develop somehow. That was something just for the agents. I think.
I was fucking pissing myself laughing at that. You owe us 30 million if he wins the Ballon d'Or. Okay, didn't you?
Lol. Okay.
Lols. Hashtag LOLZ.
Maybe that's why they're keeping him so shit, so they don't have to pay it out.
It's fucking garbage. But if you imagine if Martial had that, can you imagine what Pogba's clause is?
They've seen it. 14 million went to the agent, and FIFA are going, hang on, that's not right.
Yeah, and Pogba's a brand first, a footballer second.
Yeah,
and then a team player distant.
No, he is. No, he's a player at least down the list. But before then, there is brand, emoji, dab, haircut, Adidas.
Yeah.
So that's the 6 right there. It's actually really pathetic, to be honest.
It's totally pathetic. It's utterly pathetic, and it's hilariously juvenile, even by Manchester United standards.
Yeah.
And even by Jose Mourinho standards.
And it's going to happen as well. They're going to keep buying players solely for the brand.
They're
going to try and court Griezmann all summer, and I'd be 100% certain.
That's
I know that's dead in the wood now because of the transfer ban.
Yeah.
But they are going to still try and elbow their in, nudge kind of thing. And it's solely because It's not from footballing standards. Because why would he? Again, I think I said this before. Why would he compete with Zlatan when he is the main guy at Atletico Madrid? Everything goes to him.
Yeah.
He'd have to play second fiddle to Zlatan. So why would you do that? The reason that United want him is because we can market him.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is now. It's a marketing thing.
Yeah, and that's good. I just hope they stay away from players that we could potentially sign, like Lacazette.
They'll do the same thing to him as well.
Yeah.
It's a common thread.
So brand Manchester United has been a fantastic success. As a team, less so.
Like, in fairness, they did win 2 trophies this year.
They did, and I think that's more so from how Mourinho sets up his teams not to lose.
Yeah.
You know, but he is a
they were
cup
both
man.
like dredges of games.
Oh,
They're
they're
very
absolutely,
bad
to be honest,
games.
the only reason they even won, because I unfortunately watched the Europa League Ajax game, and I remember at halftime going, you know, it'd be really, really good if Ajax could do something else other than nothing.
Yeah.
And because they did nothing.
They did just play tight.
But let's look at the reality of it. Is Europa League, the run up for Europa League for United were so straightforward in comparison to some of the other teams. Like Ajax had to get through Lyon, who were really strong favourites for that competition.
Yeah.
And they also had to get through teams like Besiktas and a lot of other tough teams.
Yeah,
United had Celta Vigo, Anderlecht.
Yeah, they could have fielded their second string.
Slavia Prague was another one, I think.
That's it.
Oh.
But no, I kind of don't really begrudge them that, because you can only really play it in cup competitions.
Of course,
But
you have to look at it as an achievement. Like even when we had a rugby league last season, United, Borussia Dortmund, and Villarreal. Then we threw it all away against Sevilla. But that's a much tougher run out than what United have. They could have.
Sevilla went on to win it that year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They win it every year anyway. Yeah. So when we say Europa League winners, we're saying in inverted commas because Sevilla always win it.
The Sevilla League winners
will forever win it.
But that's just it. So
surely they can get better next season.
I'd say they will get better in the fact that is Ibrahimovic going to be around after doing his cruciate?
Potentially not. Is what I'm hearing.
You know, if they get someone in, I heard rumours again. I don't like to listen to rumours, but that Rooney's on his way out. So if they get rid of those 2 heavy hitters on the wage bill, they can definitely they're gonna.
That's nearly that. Because the funny thing is that those 2 gone. That's nearly $750,000 a week off their wage bill.
It's insane.
Like that just makes me want to cry blood.
Yeah. I think next year if they get a decent striker in, they will be tough to. Obviously, they're gonna be tough to beat, but I think they are gonna improve, and I think they are gonna be thereabouts for 4th next year. I
can see them. At least personally speaking, I can see them going for Lukaku. Because I think he would be the type of player that would benefit from having the service of the likes of Mata.
I see them crashing out of the Champions League as well. Like
It depends on which pot they go into and who they get tied up with. But like I said, when they're being forced to win something, that's when they do struggle. When they're when they're already done the hard part and they're in finals, that's when they're only better. But you still have to get there. Is the problem?
Yeah.
I don't think
they need to score goals big time.
I'd be surprised if Manchester United get past the group of 16.
I would go with group of 16 as well.
I go group of 16 and they'll probably get 5th.
Yeah. Out of interest, actually, who do we think is going to get the furthest in the Champions League out of English sides? I think we said Chelsea for quarterfinals. We didn't say anything for everyone else.
I reckon Chelsea quarterfinals.
I would say City for the semi-finals. But that's by virtue of like whatever kind of like draw they would have and Guardiola's experience.
I was about to say I'll stick
League.
with Chelsea and City going into the quarters. Yourselves and Manchester United crashing out of the group of 16. I think everybody will get past the group stages.
Okay.
Oh shit, Spurs are there as well. Yeah, they're not going to get past the group stages.
I would say that we could fall in the group stages, but that's by virtue of us being in pot 4. That'd be my point of view, because we're going to get a hard group either way we look at it. Now we might get 3rd and get Europa League final or Europa League football. That's not bad. I don't mind that. Because then we can have a go at winning that instead. Yeah. Just in case the league falls apart, we can have a go at winning the Europa League again, and not losing like we did last time. But out of, like I said, I would say furthest I would say City, purely by I just think they're going to have a strong year next year.
My predictions are initial based now. After the summer, that might change.
Yeah, exactly. But we're not really optimistic for United anyway. At least, like I said, the squad I think would win a championship. But it's the fucking football and the coach that's cheating them. That's the problem.
The thing is what they've got now. It makes it kind of a mockery of what Mourinho was slagging off Wenger about. I think about a year or 2 ago when he turned around and he went, if you gave me that squad, talking about the Arsenal team, if you gave me that squad, I'd have won the league by now. And it's like, really, because
Look at the squad you have
you've
now.
gotten like more money than Arsenal will ever throw at anything ever. And not even at our stadium practically. You know,
there's more money spent on Zlatan than the Emirates itself.
Yeah, and you're just like, no, you can't. Like, you went on a gigantic 23 match unbeaten run, which took you from the lofty heights of 6th to 5th, and then immediately after that, we won a game, and he went back to 6th anyway.
Yeah. Hooray. Were they like 6th for like 3 months?
Yeah.
They were just perpetually 6th, no matter how many games they won.
That was their 23 match unbeaten run, which actually got shouted at me quite a number of times. I was like, you've not changed league position. Then literally the 23rd match they won, put them to 5th. They lost they lost their next match, which ended that run. We won a game and they went straight back to 6th.
Yeah.
So they were 5th for one game on that 23 match unbeaten.
And like
run.
I said, the bulk of those 23 games were draws.
Yeah.
So that's the important caveat there. Unbeaten run may say losses.
It also meant that I had
fuck ton of draws.
it also meant that I had to go onto the Guardian website and read headlines like, "Has Jose made United the next Invincibles?"
No.
Yeah.
That's not.
Vomit,
No. Let's move on before we actually do get, have to clean anything up.
Physically ill.